Hello. I decided to do this at the last minute, so I'm probably the only one here right now, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm still figuring out, oh, this is a nice piece of fabric. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing today. Just throw that over there. I'm literally like, I'm FAFOing today. I'm FAFOing a bag. And I'm still getting set up because I don't get ready first and then sew. I just turn on the fucking camera and hope for the best. So that's not what I want. So hello, whoever's here now. There we go. Hi, Michelle. Ooh, hi, Nanny B. How you doing? Yeah, I'm messing around today. I went to McDonald's for lunch. I took myself to McDonald's for lunch. Look, there's my order. I took myself to McDonald's for lunch, and what's going on locally around here? I don't know if it's around you yet. I don't know what the deal is where you live, but where I live, they've just decided that you have to pay 25 cents for the bag. Right? So you're walking into your local McDonald's, you're saying, hey, blah, 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 I want a burger, I want a fries, I want a drink. And they're like, we need to charge you for the bag. So I'm like, okay, well then I need to go home and make a bag. So I'm debating. My big issue is I don't want to be taking a great big giant tote bag to go to the store. We have a McDonald's, it's like literally half a block from here. It is just up at the corner. So when I am feeling lazy, I take myself for a quick lunch, get myself a McDouble combo, the cheap one. So look at this. We have so many minimum wage work. It is so impossible for them to find minimum wage workers. There is a sign on the door when you go in. There's a sign posted by the drive-through. When you do I don't know if your location has a self-serve kiosk. When you do the self-serve kiosk, I'm like, doop, and at the top it says, by the way, we're hiring. Well, they charge for bags here everywhere. They for a while they switched over and were doing paper bags at grocery stores, and they even just recently stopped that. So it's 25 cents for this little bag. So I figured, like, fuck that noise. I'm just going to come home. Okay. I've got bags. I've got plenty of bags. I've got plenty of tote bags. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't want to carry a great big giant bag to wander over and get myself a burger and a fry, right? But this is the smallest bag to make. So I thought that I would save the bag, which, as you can tell, I went, wait a second. So I thought that I'm just FAFOing. I don't want a little bag like this with a big long strap. So I need a bag. I need to make my own bag. No, this is how we're saving the planet over here. This is the Vancouver area, and we're in Coquitlam. Okay. If you're from one of those urban areas, you have your like Toronto. Most major cities are like this. You got your main city, and then you got all the suburbs, right? Yeah. It's a new change. It is a new change, and I don't know if McDonald's is doing this voluntarily or if it's everywhere now. But yeah, I go in. It's like, do you want one bag or two bags? Zero bags. I guess they're just handing you your burger. They'll probably give you a bag anyway, but they'll probably hand you the bag anyway. But the reality is that like they do not give you a straw unless you ask for it, which are paper straws. We switched over to plastic. We bring our own straws now because they got those gross paper ones that dissolve in your mouth. Straws, napkins, the cutlery is all wooden now, which is gross. But yeah, they don't even give you that anymore unless you ask for it. unless you ask for, may I have a straw, please? May I have a fork, please? They don't give it to you. They still do, but they're not supposed to anymore. And they're getting better and better at not bothering. Anyway, I don't mind, honestly. Okay, personally, I don't mind. I have a metric fuck ton of fabric back here, so it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really hurt me one way or the other. Now, I've got to abandon you guys. Chat among yourselves and enjoy yourselves for a minute. I think I need to check for one thing, because I think, okay, I need to check and see if I have any Velcro. If I don't have any Velcro, then I need to start making adjustments to what's going on in my head right away. Sure, I still have that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I have no background. No, I have no Velcro. I have no Velcro. But I do have a big smear in the middle of my glasses. 2 seconds. Okay. So I can't find the Velcro, but I do have these guys. They're the little snaps. So whatever I design has to have snaps. So I'm going to do that first. First, I'm going to like clean this up so I can actually say, I used to have some Velcro tape, but I don't like Velcro tape. So I'm not sure if I got rid of it or if I just didn't. I probably only got a little teeny tiny bit and then ended up using it and then not remembering, because, you know, I've got an embarrassing stash of crap that I only use once in a while. If Coca-Cola could pay me to product place their stuff, that would be awesome. Just, you know, get a hold of me. Anyway. So we are FAFOing today. And I don't think I need to do much right this second. I just want to get an idea. So a bag like this looks like that. I don't have to copy the exact design. I'm not copying the exact design. The two things I want to avoid needing a big long strap. I want to avoid needing a big long strap. I want to avoid making it so small that it's useless. I want to avoid making it so big that I might as well just use a grocery bag. So I just want to get a measurement. So the bag itself, yeah, this is only 7 inches wide. I mean, 7 inches by 4.5 inches by, 11 inches tall. These aren't huge bags. These aren't huge bags. This should hold 1 or 2. You know, sometimes if we're in the evening time, Sometimes we'll just walk over and get dinner for both of us, right? So 7 by 11 by 4. That's not bad. So what I can do, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm probably going to end up doing this part just like I do a regular bag, but I think I want, I'm not sure how I'm going to look. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Should I over-engineer this and reinvent the wheel, or should I make a simple bag? But what I am going to do is, since I'm going to take the time to do this, I am going to line the bag. I might as well make it nicer. I might as well make it nice. So it shouldn't take too much work to sew a bunch of these together and make a piece that's big enough to turn into a bag. And then I turn that into a bag. I line it. Is that big enough? Okay. I love, okay, who does it? If any of you guys who do any sort of stuff, don't you just love when you go, does this work? And you go, I think it does. This might work, but it won't do the sides. That's sad. Okay, back up there with you. That works. Now, this is a batik. This is a batik. I don't know if you guys noticed. I put up a batik fat quarter kit for people. That's a random selection of fat quarters. This is actually a batik, and it's these are shiny. They're shinies, but because this is actually a batik, but batiks are two-sided. Batiks are the same on the front and the back. This is the same on the front and the back. I guess that means I could use either side as the front. I guess I'm getting 2 for the price of 1. Can you undo the bag where it's glued and get the pattern? These bags are super easy for the pattern. And I already knew this, but it's glued here, so it's folded. It's folded in and it's glued off center. So I don't necessarily need that part. There's a couple of different ways. There's a couple of different ways to do the bottom, and I can just do regular boxing. I'm just going to do a regular boxing on the bottom and not worry about it because I'll get the exact same effect. I just need to know how wide this is. So this is a batik. This is the exact same design on the front and the back, but one side has had the little dots on it to make it look like a night sky, make it look like stars. So, by the way, if anybody wants this, if anybody wants any of this, I'm still doing scrap packs for anybody who wants them. I'm just not doing as many as often right now, but I'm still building up a big pile of shit. So this one is a batik, which is a slightly different texture than regular cotton. I don't normally mix them, but for the purposes of a bag to hold food, I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this because I'm trying to destash my batik. So I've got a few listings up. And I didn't even put a dent in my batik stash. But this here is one of those ones that needs to be explained. Or if you get this, if you were to contact me and say, I want to buy a random pack of batik, and you were to end up with this, it requires explanation, right? Not everybody's used to that. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to babble in circles and I'm going to use it. That's the punchline. I'm using that. So right now, right this minute, I need to start sewing this shit together until I get a big enough piece that I think is going to make a bag. This isn't going to be bad. It needs to be okay. In order to, I do need to cut this to open it. I do need to cut this. There's a pair of scissors. I keep crap scissors laying around so that when I need to cut things that aren't fabric, So there's a crease in the bag. I'm just going to cut along the crease. Cut along the crease. I'm not going to cut this up too badly. But we're going to open that up. Yeah, you can see from the, when you get to the inside, you can, I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see how it's just been folded in. It's 2 pieces of paper that have been folded in this unique, it's been folded in by machine and then glued down, and that's how they've done the bottom. But I'm going to, there's a reason for this, don't worry. Okay. This is a crappy pair of scissors, but it's great for cutting paper. So, does that start to look familiar? Yeah, anybody who's made bags, this should start to look familiar. That's, get this up a little higher. So you need a piece of fabric that covers all that, okay? This part, I put the camera up. Then I move everything. As soon as I put the camera up, okay, so basically I need a piece of fabric that's going to go from here to here. This part is fine. You're going to have your piece of fabric go, from here to here. You're going to act like that gap isn't there yet. Because in reality, by the way, if you really do want to open your bag properly, just if you have a paper bag and you're trying to copy it, get steam iron on this, because the heat of the steam iron will melt the glue. But I don't care. Let me get that. I don't care if that tears. I'm just trying to verify. Yep. That's the part that's gonna, whatever. You're very rarely gonna find a paper bag that you can copy exactly, because this is a machine process that literally cuts the paper and glues it. And unless you want to use fabric glue and screw around like that, you're not going to want to do that with your fabric. But anyway, so what I need, let me just get part of this off. I'm already having a problem with my camera. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a piece of fabric that is this wide, right? But I need my seam allowances. This is why I opened it up. I want to get the full measure. I still have this. It's, by the way, this is like the awesomest thing I ever got. I use it like every day. So I still need my seam allowances. You need to decide, you can decide right now, right this minute, what is the best seam allowance for you. So once this is opened up, it is 11.5 inches wide in total, and you got to measure from the middle. So the middle is here. Everybody thinks the bottom is here. You want to go to the bottom of each side. 13 inches. You need an 11 by 13 inch twice piece of fabric. Sometimes you want a different front and back, so you're only measuring to the halfway there if you want a different front and back. Anyway, I'm having one of those hyper days. I don't know why. I missed you guys. It's been what? It's been almost 2 weeks. I didn't do anything. I wasn't online at all. I didn't do any filming at all last week because it was my wedding anniversary. Our wedding anniversary was on the 5th. Lisa took the Friday off. So she took Friday to Tuesday off. So we had a nice 5-day weekend, just the two of us, to enjoy our anniversary weekend. And then I needed to catch up on everything. So open it up just to verify your measurements. And if you don't think you cut, don't worry about that. Because what you also need is a seam allowance. So whatever seam allowance works best for you. If you like, I need a 1 inch seam allowance, and you're going to want to add 1 inch on either side. See how I'm off by an inch on this side? Inch on this side, that's 13.5 inches, right? So keep that in mind, your seam allowance. maybe add an inch to each end. Thank you. No matter how you're planning on putting your bag together, make sure that you're adding at least an inch. Okay, let me back up. You need to make room for your seam allowance, right? So if you like a generous seam allowance, make sure you're adding that in. But at the very least, add at least an inch or a half an inch over and above, because I'm going to be sewing together all this scrap. I need to be able to square it off when I'm done. So if I was starting with just if I was making the whole thing out of this, starting with a plain specific piece of fabric, I would cut it this plus my seam allowance and I'd be done. But because I'm going to be working with scrap and sewing a bunch of that together, give yourself a really generous, like 1 to 2 inches if you need to. Give yourself a really generous seam allowance all the way around, so that because you're sewing together so much stuff, if anything shifts, you don't have to freak out. Okay, and if you're sewing together scrap, oh my God, it's the wrong size. I guess I'll put a random piece here, right? I'm just sewing together scrap. Random pieces are absolutely fine. So I open this for a reason, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing these together. And oh my God, this is what was left. This is what I ran through my my cutter. This is at least enough. This little pile right here is enough for at least 2 quilts, all by itself, which is why I'm like, I need to use it for other things. So we're going to put that over there. I saved all the black separately. I do have a project in mind. I just have to find the time for it. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 things. So I'm going to start. I'm just going to go doop, right? That's all I'm going to do. So, and I'm going to be random. I don't care. So obviously I need to make sure that the pieces I'm using are wide enough. Or, pardon me, Chug Pop, Bert Bob camera. Yep, that's me. Okay, so let's say that I want to sew 2 or 3 of these together, right? Well, I'm going to sew them together and go, oh, that's wide enough, and now I can move on to the next piece. That way I don't have to guess, right? I've already decided that I need room for seam allowance. I've already decided what I do and don't need room for. Maybe I'll do these 2 purples together. I don't have to agonize. So I'm just gonna. This is obvious that it's big enough. This one, oh, what if this is a maybe? Well, then I'm gonna. Is this 2 pieces or is this 1? That's 2 pieces. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna periodically check against the length of the bag, right? So I don't need to worry about that. I'm also gonna decide right now which. This is a little trick, okay? These 3 pieces are not the same length. They all come out differently. That one comes to there, that one comes to there, that one comes to there. Last thing you want to do is sew it all together and find out that you mismatched them. And now if I mismatch these and then try to put them here, they're not gonna. That's too short. That's too short, even though the piece itself is long enough, right? Decide up front which one is your top. Decide up front which one is the top piece and make sure that they stay lined up so that when you're done, you lay it down like that. And then all the uneven mismatch stays only at the one side. And again, I'm working with scrap. If I screw it up, I'm just going to add a piece here and fix it that way, right? And I think I'm gonna skip these fabrics. I'm going to be, this is a bag for carrying my McDonald's back and forth. So get that over there. So la la la. Oh my God. Be right back. Gotta blow my nose because who didn't expect that? Okay, I am back. So I'll sew these two together first. This is going to be this is going to be facing outside. So I have made it a fairly. I'm making a fairly tight stitch to sew these together. So usually I do 2.5. Hey, Kaz. We are making a Macca's bag because Macca's in Canada now, Macca's in my area now charges 25 cents a bag. So if you want to go buy yourself a lovely combo, you need to spend a lovely quarter. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I've got so much fabric here. Why shouldn't I, right? Okay, so I am going to, I don't want to duplicate. I am going to use darker and colorful fabrics because it's a McDonald's bag. They have been charging for single-use products for a while over here, and they just extended it to McDonald's bags. So it's 25 cents per bag. I get it, but it's kind of dumb. Anyway, I am going to use like this has got lots of color on it because it's literally going to be a McDonald's bag for me. So the last thing I want to do is if I use this lighter fabric that I was just had out a minute ago, if I use this lighter fabric and it gets an oil stain on it, I'm going to be pissed. Because it's like, it's just a McDonald's bag. Why is it covered? So again, pick which end. You can see how uneven these are, right? Pick which end is going to be your end. Okay. And I could just be cutting up. I've got plenty of fabric where I can just cut up a big chunk. I think Paul McCartney. You know what I think of? I think of Paul, what the frick was his name? Paul Hogan? Isn't that his name? The Australian Crocodile Dundee. God, I'm old. Anyway, so I'm just going to be chilling. Now we can chill and chat while I get some of this stuff sewn together. So I am just working with scrap, so I'm not agonizing. I'm probably already past my I'm going to go for 14-inch. Got to make sure you leave room for your seam allowance. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do 15-inch because I already know that I already know. Yeah, that ain't a knife. This is a knife. Yeah. Now they have decided that if they stop us from using paper bags, it's going to solve the world pollution problem, which I get. I understand. They're coming at it from the right place. So normally I'd have the iron ready to go. Oh, I just did it without showing you guys. If you have, because it's a scrap, right? So if you have these loose threads and they're sticking up on this side, give it a pull until your fabric starts to pinch up and then cut it and then stretch it back. It'll pull it back into place. Okay. Normally I'd have my iron ready to go, but I don't need to. I'm going to get my scissors out though. So right now, right this minute, if you're playing along from home, you need a piece of fabric. I am making a piece of fabric because I need to get some of this scrap used up, right? But if you're playing along from home, you need a piece of fabric. Where'd I put my measuring tape? It's not fun if I haven't lost something in the first 30 seconds. Okay, there it is. Found it. So you need a piece of fabric that is, let's give a full 1 inch on either side. So you need a piece of fabric that is 13.5 inches wide. Yeah, well, yeah, fast food, it's like, so to do this, you need a piece of fabric that is 13.5 inches wide by 28 inches long. If you are going to use two different fabrics, like one fabric for the front and a different fabric from the back, then add an inch to account for this. If you're going to make one piece here and then attach it to this piece here, you'll need a 1 inch seam allowance for that. So 13.5 inch by, I'm giving myself an inch at either end so that I can square it up before I get to work on it. And so that I have extra space. I want to have extra space because I'm lining this. So 28 inches by 13 inches. 13? Yeah, 13 is good. 28 by 13. What the hell's going on here? I'm going to change the numbers. I'm going to change the things. Honestly, whatever works for you. Like, whatever works for you and however you lay this out. Anyway, I am just doing this because I'm going to go this way. Doing. And I just need to be able to, like, every now and again, now that I have this, every now and again, I'm going to double check against that until I get the right length. So I am skipping through my fabric. This is too solid. If it gets a grease spot on it, it's going to be visible. So we're going to skip those ones. I don't really care about the bag. I probably don't even technically need it now, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because what happens if I change my mind? Okay, this one here is very, what the hell? That's the wrong size. That goes there. This one here is variegated enough. It's a lot darker here than it is there. But this one here's got enough variegation that if I get an oil stain, nobody will know. This is my top. And if you need to, take your friction pen. Is that an actual, oh, it's a friction pen. I can't get it to write the word top, but it's a friction pen. I can't get it. How are you going to make the bottom solid? I'm gonna box it just like I would any other bag, because that's what'll work the best. So I'm gonna box it just like I would any other bag when I'm done. And I don't think I'm gonna have to do anything. I don't think I'm gonna have to do anything too strange. But what I'm gonna do, and one of the reasons why I want it to be a little taller is because at one end I'm gonna put like a flap so that I can. I'm gonna put a flap and a snap. I'm gonna put these in, the little snaps. I don't have any Velcro, and it's not a project that's worth going out and getting Velcro for. So if you're doing your scrap, this is a great practice project too, by the way, because this would make a great practice project for anybody, just simply because it's a McDonald's bag, and you're just doing it. Okay, these also make great lunch bags. There are tutorials everywhere how to do exactly what I'm doing as a lunch bag. And do you think I was smart enough to look one up? No. I needed my sizes to be different anyway. Don't forget, if you're working with scrap, you can expect a lot of fraying. That's normal. And if you're working with scrap, and you just do not want to fuck around, then take a couple of these and intentionally put them on wonky. Put that one on wonky, put the next one on wonky. Do it intentionally wonky on purpose. That way, anything that's not quite perfect will look intentional. Do a couple of intentional not perfect, and then the rest of it, yeah, you'll be like, oh, this is fine. I have a bad habit of getting in a hurry on projects like this. When I know that I'm just fucking around, I have a habit of getting into a hurry, and then sometimes my lines aren't as straight as I'd like them to be. Also remember, if you are, use the narrower stitch. Use a make your stitches nice and close. But also, there's nothing wrong with your machine if it suddenly takes 3 times as long to stitch a line. Let's go over here. I'm not bothering to backstitch because I already know I'm sitting at, like I said, I need it to be like 13.5 inches. I already know that I'm sitting at almost 18 inches. So designer wonk, yeah. But here's the thing: is if you don't have as much practice as you would like to have, and you've got a little too much wonk to be comfortable. I'm comfortable. This is fine. Nobody's gonna This looks just fine. This looks nice and straight. This looks nice and straight. Now I am like sitting a few inches away, so I can go, oh, I think that went in by a 1/16 of an inch, blah, 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 right? So this is your project. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And like I said, I don't want to put the work into something that's going to look stained and nasty the first couple of times I use it. So I'm just going through slowly but surely. I've already got that in there. Oh, that's not going to go well. You can tell I'm prepared, eh? I am like the most prepared. So anyway, we actually had a pretty chill. It was actually really nice because we're so. Lisa especially is like go, 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 go all the time, never getting a break. So we actually spent of the 5 days that Lisa was off, we actually spent a decent amount of it just relaxing. I'll use that one. That one looks like it doesn't belong. That'll be fine. I wasn't really thinking ahead. I'm just like, I want to do a video. It's been a while. Say hi, check in, chit chat. There's a group of people, maybe the Amish, who deliberately include flaws in quotes and other projects to show that humans are. That is Muslims. It is a part of their faith. I'm not. Amish may do the same thing, but Muslims also to be perfect is to challenge Allah. To be perfect. Oh my God! I read this quote. There was a quote, and I'm not sure if. I don't know if the quote is from the Quran or just from it's probably just from popular culture, but to be perfect is to challenge Allah, which is not offensive. To produce a perfect work is to challenge Allah, and only Allah is perfect. So they intentionally include a flaw just so that they are not disrespecting God. Which kind of makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it is better for this bag not to be perfect. I'm just thinking grease spots right now. I'm just thinking that if I'm going to make a bag that is designed to hold burgers that are wrapped in paper and fries and all that greasy stuff, that it needs to be able to handle it needs to be able to hide a grease spot. Obviously, that's going to get grease spots, but yeah. So if you are like, I want to do this, but I want it to look really good. Do it intentionally. It's like, screw that shit. Look at that. This is like the last piece. I don't think I have to go check my stash. I think this is the last piece of this blue scale that I have. Okay, that is I'm skipping that one because there's another one right there. That one I've already got. Come on, do I have a short? Oh no, this is a long one. That shouldn't. Okay, this one shouldn't be there. I put it through my little machine, and clearly it's not. This is supposed to be 1.5 inches wide, and obviously I forgot. Was this like an edge? Yeah, that's not even 2 inches. I am going to put that in the 1.5 inch pile and redo it. Oh, yep, some more little pieces that obviously when I was running my AccuQuilt, I still see a couple of the blue ones down there. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting and hoping. That's the last one. That's the last. Nope, there's one more. Man, I must have been tired that day because I did a really bad job of, yeah, this is from a very, this, look, this is the pink and this is the blue. These are from the same set. La, 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 la. That's going to be the top. That's going to be the top. I'm gonna go ahead and trim it just because it's really long and it's a pain in the ass. We shall go over here. So how's everybody else been? I honestly, we did our We did our anniversary hang. We just staycationed. We staycationed at home and just enjoyed not doing anything. We did a couple of little day trips. There's a really nice park near here called Steveston. We went down there for the day. Took the dogs on a big adventure. Had a couple of really nice date nights. We went out to where we went out to. Where did we go? We went to Earl's. That was a big disappointment. We went to Tea. So see, everything is I'm lining everything up so that this is the top and all the wonky stuff is just staying at this end. Because that way I do not have to worry about it. Because if I start trying to if I start trying to go, well, I want this, if I start doing that, then it's going to start still job hunting. Oh, that sucks. It's funny around here, everybody's hiring around here. Here's the problem that we have around here. Everybody's hiring. Everybody is hiring, but nobody around here, rents are so high in this area that nobody can afford to take anything for less than $30-$40 an hour. And even then, rents are just $4,000 rents are not $4,500 are not a surprise. Sewing bibs. Ooh, that sounds like fun. You know what? I got the AccuQuilt, right? There is a bib form that lets me just run the fabric through, and then all I've got to do is sew it. Okay, so like I said, I'm just kind of boop, 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 boop. This one won't leave a grease mark, and if it does, it won't be visible. So we'll just use that one. It's beauty of scrap. I wish I had a better way to set up the camera. Yeah, it's like I showed you the bag, right? Right on the bag. Oh, that's in French because we have language laws. Now hiring, and I'll tell you right now, I could walk into any fast food. I used to work fast food back when the kids were little, right? I could walk into any fast food place right now and get a job. They'd probably hire me on the spot. That shifted. It's insane. They're going crazy. Look at they need workers, but these are businesses like you go, oh well, it's McDonald's. They make a ton of money. They make this, they make that, but wages are expensive. Sometimes, well, I think it's a combination. I don't know. I don't want to call it greed, but if the only way for me to hire somebody is for me to be making minimum wage, I'm not sure that I want to hire somebody. I kind of had that going. I kind of had that going when I was working, when I had Rose working with me. There were plenty of weeks where she made more money than I did because it's sales dependent, right? So then you've got because you go over, okay, if I go over to McDonald's right now, there's probably going to be 20, 25 people working right now, right this minute. It's a lot of money to be paying them $30-$40 an hour. It's a catch-22 that we've created. Spent hours cutting. Oh yeah. I've got the AccuQuilt. I've got the electric AccuQuilt. And I cut this giant pile of fabric in I did most of it while I was on camera chatting. And you know how I chat and then work for 4 seconds and then chat for half an hour. I got a ton of it done. Maybe took an hour to cut all that. And I cut all that. And I also cut a big bin of 1.5 inch. This is almost enough for a quilt here too. So, oh, what is that? What do I have hiding in the back? Why do I have something hiding? Oh, this is nice. Why do I have this big piece of brown hiding in the back? Maybe I'll use that for the inside of my bag. I don't know. Now I've got choices. I love it when you just mind your own business and something jumps into your hand. I don't even have to get my fat ass off this chair. That's awesome. But yeah, no, like a lot of people are hiring, but unless you have roommates or want roommates or whatever, nobody's paying enough. And it's kind of sad when you don't pay enough. Okay. I don't know how to express it, but it's like when $30 an hour isn't enough. Like that's just crazy stuff, right? I don't think I can use this one. I do think a grease stain would show up really, really obviously on such a light, bright color. I can do this one though. Got a little bit of unicorn fabric. Shayla's over in the corner snoring. Call that home shopping. Yeah. Oh yeah, home shopping. I've got some stuff. Okay, so basically, let me back up because I stop and start and then I just don't make any sense. So we did our staycation. I spent the last week catching up on all the stuff I didn't do because we were staycationing. And now I'm going to take the next few days. This is my last minute project. Just because, like I said, McDonald's charges for the bags. That's gross, man. But I've got some I've got some AccuQuilt dyes for some really cool stuff, and if they work out, okay, I've got some AccuQuilt dyes for patterns that I already wanted to do. And now I have to take a couple of days. I don't have to, of course, but I'm going to take a couple of days and play with those patterns because there's still going to be a learning curve. So let's see how that goes. La la la. La 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 la. There we go. I don't have to cut these as I go, but some of the fabrics are nicer and I don't want to, I don't care if this little piece here frays more, but some of these fabrics are nicer and I don't want them to fray even more. So let me find the next. Oh, that'll work. That'll work really well, actually. Nice, so I can tell at a glance that it's not long enough. So anyway, yeah, so I've gotten some stuff done. I'm going to do this. I might, once this one's done, if I like how it turns out, I might make a few. Because it never hurts to have a smaller bag. I just don't want to handle. I think that's my problem. This is going to be a basic bag. By the time I'm done, this is going to be a basic bag, just like any other tote bag I ever did, except for instead of having a handle, it's going to have snaps. I just thought of a really cool idea. Okay, I think I figured it out. Here's one nice thing. If you're doing stuff like this where you're using up scrap and stuff, while you're using up your scrap, you can just let your mind wander and go, are there any things I can do with this that will be really awesome and cool? I think I just thought of something. Oh, whoa, there's a shorter one right there. Oh, is that? Nope, that's just as long. God, that dog, she has been just super sleepy today. And super long piece, no point in screwing. You know what happens with some of these pieces though? Let me get my thing back down here. A piece like this, see that? This is actually the back. That's the front. Sometimes with a piece like this, because they've got light spots, and I happen to know that this particular fabric, throw a square strip in the mix. Oh, that's what I should do. Damn, that's over there. I gotta cut it though. Oh, I know what I'll do. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm going to do. Guess what I'm going to line this bag with? I can line this bag, and then if anybody pisses me off, I can just flip it inside out. Because it will be a reversible. If I do what I'm thinking of, it's going to be a reversible bag. I'm going to make it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, that's a great idea, Nanny B. Okay. Okay. Do I have anything that's actually... I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet. I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet. That's a Josephine wall print. I don't think I have anything in the shop with that on it right now, but it's coming. Yeah, because you know what I do? Okay, like I think that fabric is absolutely awesome, and I've been trying to use it. I use it when I can, right? Do I have them in the house? Let me see. I don't have them in the house. I made 2 big tote bags out of them. One of the fabrics says it's two. One of the fabrics says "ooh people," and the other fabric says it's "two people in here." So I made those into tote bags. But you know, McDonald's, there's a lot of kids floating around in McDonald's, so it's like I probably can't. But it can be on the inside. It can be on the inside. I'm gonna go get some of that for the inside. Come on, come on, come on. I cannot wait. Okay. This is a good machine. I really. If I had to pick just one machine to use forever, I would pick this machine. But it is slower than my Janome, so it's like I want my Janome back. My Janome is about 30% faster, which is nice. Okay. I'm wondering if that would. Do you think that would? Okay. I think that would show a grease spot. Yes, square strip. Yeah. I guess I don't have to care. Man, this is turning into a very blue bag with only a couple of little bits of red. I could have sorted through to get I could have sorted through for the variety, but it really defeats the purpose of making it a quick project that I can get through easily. And like I said, if you decide to follow along at home, just skip all this stuff. If you decide that you want to follow along at home, you can just skip all this stuff and cut the one solid piece. But you guys are just hanging out with me, and now you're stuck with the long process. La la la. Ooh, I might be almost done. I might only have 3 or 4 strips to go. That one will be nice. That one won't show a grease spot because it's got the intentional blotchiness of a blender already. So I am not going to bust my ass too badly over this. It's a pickup bag, yeah. Okay, that can go there. That's just a little short guy. What am I looking at for? Oh, I've got lots of fabric here. Let's grab this one. It's super bright. Is it long enough? That one is long enough. You guys are just gonna have to wait till I get it. What the heck did I do? Okay, there we go. And of course, because I wait until I'm well into the project, don't forget, to pin or not to pin is entirely up to you. The number of pins is entirely up to you. I find that when you're just doing single straight pieces like this, after a little bit of practice, it's really easy just to keep it where you want it. But you also, you stop once in a while, make sure it hasn't shifted out of place. Some people like to fully lift it and do that. Whatever works for you. These kinds of little projects where you know that you're not expecting too much to be given. I'm not expecting too much out of this as a bag, right? These little projects where you know you're not expecting too much to begin with are a great way to practice. Did I put that on? Nope. Okay. Every now and again, let's get over here. Let's get over here. Stop for a PSA moment. Okay, so basically, I've got selvage here, right? So I am paying attention to make sure that this will drift a little bit just because I'm trying to be quick and I'm being whatever. So I'm just trying to make sure that my selvages aren't going to cause drift or add to any drift, because I do not want, okay, if it ends up going like that off to the side, if it ends up being like angled or whatever, it's just a McDonald's bag. I can work with that, but eventually you're going to want to do more challenging projects. So just keep an eye on that as you go. Keep an eye on that as you go so that you don't train yourself to do it wrong. I don't know if wrong or right is the relative thing, but this is a great opportunity to practice certain techniques. So even if you're being quick and a little careless like I am, pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to, it's like, oh, this is starting to drift. It's like, oh, okay. That I could, like I said, it's just a McDonald's bag. You can fix it and not care about it. This is also why I say that if you're trying to work through your scrap stash, make it a little bit bigger. This is already scrap. If I don't think of a project, this is eventually going to go into the garbage, right? So if I think of a project and it's like, oh, well, I've got 2 inches on each side that I had to throw away. It's like, okay, well, the other 18 inches that you would have also thrown away eventually are now being put to use. La 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 la. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay, I just thought of something. I'm gonna do my quilt as you go technique, which means that there will be swearing on the bag. It'll be subtle, and if anybody wants to get close enough to see it, that's on them. Okay, already got. That's the wrong width. That goes over there. La la la. Oh, is that one? Let me just double check. This might already be big enough. Okay, so I'm just lazy. This is actually quicker than stopping. Oh, this is big enough. This is already big enough because the bag is completely covered. Bag is completely covered, so it's already big enough. Okay, we're good to go. Now, I have to trim this to shape. I'm not doing handles-ish. I'm not doing handles-ish, but I'm going to save. I just spotted these two. I'm going to save these 2 pieces because I'm going to do a thing. Okay. So when you are fucking around, if you're fucking around with something out of your stash, just be careful how you take it out. Be careful how you put it away. Be gentle with it. Be gentle with it, because every time you manhandle this, you're creating fraying. Not the end of your world, but if it reaches a certain point, you're not going to be happy with it. It's going to be a huge problem. So just take your time. La la la. Okay. Now, to iron? I'm going to iron this. Oh my God. No, it didn't even come close to denting the strip pile. My fucking God. I took and made 60 fat quarters, 70 fat quarters, because I cut 70 fat quarters out of my batiks. I put 15 fat quarters in a pack. I've got to do a thing. Give me a couple seconds. Ugh. So basically 4 fat quarters to a yard. I made 4 15 packs, which means that's 15 yards of fabric. That's a lot of fabric. Can you tell that I took, can you go look at my stash in the back and tell? No. The only thing I managed to do was I had like some orphan pieces that weren't, I got most of my extra pieces cut up and they're fine. I'm giving it the 30 seconds for the iron. It's a super fast warming iron. I am going to give this a quick little blast with the iron before I start doing anything with it. I'm not, okay, it's just a McDonald's bag, so I'm not going crazy here. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay, so first you plug in your iron and then you turn it on. And then you hit the button and turn on your iron. That's really important if you want to iron in less than like a minute. So I'm going to double check the measurements because I'm weird that way. And I always double check. It takes no time out of my life to double and triple check, but it certainly takes a chunk of time out of my day if I have to re-sew everything because I fucked it up, right? So I'm going to recheck the measurements here. I am going to do my quilt as you go technique, which means quilt as you go means that the way, pro tip, turn the iron on. I keep it unplugged because it has a light that stays on, and then I can't tell if the iron's actually on or not. So it's like I just leave it unplugged. Some people leave their irons plugged in, but you guys have seen this before, right? The way that I'm set up, there's my cutting table, and there's my ironing board. There's my front door. There's where you can see a pair of shoes sitting there. There's my dog. There's Shayla sleeping. There's my sleepy puppy. So the way that I am set up, it's not really, what did I do? There we go. The way that I'm set up, oh, you can see how dirty my kitchen is. That's awesome. Don't zoom in, guys. The way that I'm set up over here, I've dropped, this is a new iron because I dropped the last one after about the 10th time I hit in the floor. So it's like, I keep it unplugged because it's not as stable or secure as it could be, as it should be. Okay. I'm leaving the iron on because I do have to go back for, come on, one more piece. Now, but yeah, if like I said, if I was set up in such a way so that my iron sat securely in the corner. Come on, you can do it, you little... Every now and again, this camera just hates me. Look at that. Look at that. How bad is that? Come on, you can do it. What the heck just happened? Why is that little fucker not doing anything? There we go. Okay, that's because it needed to be sworn out a little bit. So, yeah, if I had a more secure corner, I probably wouldn't agonize at all about the iron. But it's a good habit to be in. This does come with excellent temperature control and an automatic shut off. Okay, so I need this. So what I need personally, because I'm going to do my quilt as you go method, which means that you cut your top piece to exactly the size that you want it, because the bottom piece is going to roll around all the way around. Okay, so I do not need to worry. That's the method that I've decided on. Now, what I can do, I can agonize. Look at that. I've got like, you know what? I can make this a little bit taller. Maybe I'll just leave it. Maybe look at that. It's like, I've got like that much on that side, and I've got like that much on that side. I can make it a tiny bit. I can make it any size I want, right? I just do not want this sized so big. I can also, if I really want to, is put this at an angle so that I really have that intentional wonkiness. We're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. Okay, I'm going to leave the length. I'm going to leave the length alone. I can live with an extra, I can live with an extra little bit top and bottom, right? So I am going to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold it in half. And by the way, you guys probably noticed, I don't know if you guys did or didn't. For anybody who may not be looking directly, I was really sloppy and lazy about the ironing because it's just a McDonald's bag and I don't have to give a crap. If you are ironing for something that you are really going to care about, then you may want to iron your seams open or make sure that they're all pressed in the same direction, whatever works for you. So all I need, I double checked my length, right? La, 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 la. So I'm just going to, I'm going to get a pen. I'm going to probably take it over there to mark it. Okay, just take that there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Now, don't forget, I was really lazy about cutting this, which is the reason why I'm coming back with this. You know what? I can just be lazy about cutting it. Just make sure that whatever you're seeing here, if you've been sloppy about opening, I was sloppy about opening it up. Be honest with yourself about what you're doing, right? I was sloppy about how I opened this up, so that's not straight. I'm not gonna measure this straight along that line and then cut it. I want to make sure that it's lined up here to make sure that that's straight. If I line up my ruler here and bring it in mostly into place, then I'm getting a pretty straight line. And then I just cut that way. I'm just leaving this out because don't cut the camera cord. And look at this. I can turn this into something else. I can turn this into a whole lot of things. This is the shortest piece on this is 6 inches. Oh no, there's a 4-inch piece right there. Okay. That goes off to the side for right now. So I'm just bring it over here. Do the same thing here. Okay, that goes in there and that goes in there. But that lines up to there. And like I said, be honest with yourself. You can double check your measurement too when you're done, right? Oh, there we go. Okay. Obviously, I'm done with this. I'm done with the McDonald's bag. You can just measure everything very, very, very insanely carefully. Now, I know that it needs to be a 4-inch box bottom. We're not there yet. Oh, I'm not done with the bag yet. Oh, shit, I'm not done with the bag yet. I'm done with the bag. Fuck the bag. There's 4 inches, so it's going to go 2. Okay. When this is done, I'm going to be taking 2 inches and 2 inches off of each corner here, but I'm not doing that yet because I don't have to. And there's my ruler. Since I've got this lined up pretty straight, there is no way to avoid this. There is like no way to avoid when you're sewing your stuff. By the time you're done, there's some slight whatever. They talk nonstop about squaring up your fabric, and that's why. Like, how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4. I've sewn together 15 pieces, and they're off by they created a little bit of a thing that was off by that much at the end. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a piece of squaring fabric. Where'd I put it? That's not it. There we go. Is this going to be big enough? Let's see. This is big enough, but it's going in the wrong direction. That'll be like that. Be going up and down. I want to save this for something better. Just a second. That's not big enough. Is that one? Is that one? Oh my. That's the wrong direction. Just a second. Okay. We're going to put that there. Okay, so I got this is not big enough. I don't think this one's big enough. Let's see. This has to stick out on all sides by an inch. I don't think it's big enough. Let's see. La la la, la la la. Why it does? Okay. But let's see if I can do this again. I want it to go like that. Oh, it will. Oh, it will. Oh, it will. Okay. Okay. We're going to do a cool little thing right this minute. We're going to fold this guy in half. I'm going to go iron it right quick. Okay. So I fold it in half backwards. There's a reason. I folded it in half backwards. So now that's upright. That's upright. I fold it in half backwards because it'll help keep things from shifting. And now I'm going to sew. That's now upright and upright. Oh, hey, did I update you guys? Oh, I know I didn't update you guys. Haven't talked to you guys in a bit. So, Saucy Dragons is in production. So, it should be Now, Lisa's told me that whenever I mention it, don't make promises. It's in production now. Basically, they've got 2 sizes of decks. They've got the kids book. They got a bunch of other, they got a few other things that are like everything that's on everything that's in the Kickstarter, right? So even if you ordered a regular size deck, they still have to put all of it together, because it's going to ship over to the fulfillment center as one big bundle. So Lisa just got an update today that the kids books are done. Apparently there's a sticker or something. Oh yeah, the deck art's done. The kids book is done. Everything's in production right now. Everything is in production right now. And her current update has everything. Her current update looks like they may have everything finished. I forget what she said. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So they get everything done. All the production stuff that gets done, then it gets all created up. So like I said, even if all you ordered was the kids book, you still got to wait for everything else because shipping is just too expensive otherwise, right? So I forget exactly. I know the decks aren't done. Okay, the deck art is done. The deck art is done. Everything is in queue to go into production. They just gotta, we're just waiting it's just waiting its turn to go through the process, right? So that's done. I'm not sure if they're actually working on that yet. Okay, so basically what I've done is but yeah, like I said, she told me not to make promises. So now I'm over explaining so I don't give the wrong idea, right? So everything it's in production now. The kids' books are done. There's a couple of other things. There's a couple of other smaller bits that are done. So that part's fine. So what I'm doing right now is I folded it in half. I sewed the bottom, which the bottom on this is where the text is pointing, right? I'm just going to fold this like that. You can get in here with a pair of scissors if you want. I'm going to fold this like that. And just do that. And now, it's the exact same thing. Nothing's changed except for we've got upside right and upside down, so that if I center this on this, oh, I fucked that up because this is going to be the outside, not the inside. Okay, I have to do it the other way. Guys, because I fucked this up. For this to be the outside, this is the one that had to be wider. Unless I just sew that. I can sew it back on. It don't fucking matter. It's my project. Okay. No, because it needs to be 2 inches at the top as well. Okay. Quilt as you go. Quilt as you go is this would. Oh, wait. I can do it this way. Because I want this to be on the inside, right? So I can just, but I also want it to be reversible. This is going to be reversible, so I will just finish it like this anyway. I'm going to finish this anyway like this. I've got to go get my, I got to go get some batting for it. I'm going to finish this like this anyway, so that it looks like that. No, that's right. What the fuck am I thinking? That's the back. My God, I'm having a brain cramp. Okay, I'm doing it right. This is the punchline. I'm doing it right, even if I think I'm not. Okay, so I am going to iron that right quick. Gonna iron that right quick. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna abandon you guys for a minute. But yeah, okay, so let me just continue over explaining in the most awkward way possible. So Unicorn Journey is pretty much done. Okay, Lisa's part of it is pretty much done. Now we are just waiting on production, and they are well into the production process. If things go according to plan, then we will be getting a ship notification in the next, say, 3 weeks. And then from there, it should only take 2 to 3 weeks after that. So what is it now? We're mid-August, end of September. So it looks like everything's going to be coming in soon. We're hoping to get Sassy Dragons. We're hoping to have Sassy Dragons in Kickstarter by like the end of October or something like that. And it looks like that's all going to happen. So, okay. So this is going to sit here for a minute. What I'm going to do, I'm going to wander off for a second and grab a piece of batting. And I'm going to cut the batting to be the same size as this. And then I shall return. Okay, I'm not doing that. Hi, Fuzzy Butt. I need to be in here. Hey, puppy. Nope. 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 Let's go over here. There we go. Always check your stash first. Okay. My hubby is thinking I'm weird, giggling at nothing, but I'm listening to you with earbuds. We'll say hi to hubby. Like, you're allowed to giggle. Just tell him it's the drugs kicking in. That'll really make him just say, no, I took some stuff. It's fine. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to leave this like this for just a minute. I need to center everything. This needs to be centered, or I've wasted my time doing that, doing the sewing bit. So I'm going to fold that like that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fold that like that. Oh, that is the center right there. This is my center. Okay. I'm going to put that seam right along that seam. This is folded in half. It's a folded piece, right? So I'm going to put that seam right along that seam because that's centered enough for me. This does not need to be perfect. I'm going to get my rotary cutter out. I need to know where my center is, and you'll see why in a second. So whatever's going to be your outside and your batting has to be the same size. Whatever's going to be your inside has to be the big. I did it right, and then when I put it down, I'm like, what did I do wrong? You ever do that? I'm sure we've all done that. I take a quick look at my stash, but didn't see anything I liked. Now, I can like clean this up in a bit. Thing is if I leave that little seam there. Okay, so now that I've got that there, this is a little off. This is sticking out a little bit. Just going to trim that off. It's just a McDonald's bag. Doesn't have to be perfect, so I can. That's another reason why I like to make things a little teeny tiny bit bigger, because if I need to swing back and make an adjustment, you can cut fabric off. You can't add it back on. Well, you can, but there's an entire fucking process. Okay. So now, just open that. Like I said, this line right here, where that meets that, is my center because I just folded everything in half, tucked it all in. Now this should line up. See, it's a little big on that side. I'll trim that off like right now. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. I don't know. Depends on how much I care. Depends on how much I care. I guess I care a little bit. I already know I have this. Okay, it's a weird thing. This is something that's difficult to describe. But the smaller the piece of fabric is, the more obvious and noticeable any mistakes are. If this was like a 25 by 25 inch piece of fabric, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Because I mean, you wouldn't have to, because a small, if something's off by 1/8 of an inch on a 25 inch project, nobody cares. But if something's off by 1/8 of an inch on a piece of fabric that's only 2 inches, this is 2 inches. This is 2 inches wide after the seam allowances, right? If something's off, it's way more noticeable. And again, that's why these projects are so awesome, because it's so I am lining, I am, see that, there's my, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's why I did it on the seam. I can see that center line. Now, your center here is wherever the stitch line is, wherever the thread is, not where the cut is. Okay. And I've made that mistake. I think everybody's made that mistake at some point in time. So your thread line is where the, so I'm matching up this seam here is just, I'm just putting it right on the thread. Take a little, I'm trying, okay, I'm moving things around. I'm trying really hard not to stretch stuff. And there, that goes that way. That goes that way. Okay. We're good. Okay. You can pin it. You can clip it. You can do whatever makes sense to you. I just leave this stuff on. I leave all of this extra on until I'm done. Until I'm done this next step. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat with some 505 spray. It is a temporary adhesive. The one thing I like about this is that it's repositionable. So if you don't like it, it's like, oh shit, you can actually lift it back up. Again, it's a McDonald's bag. Fuck it up. Fuck it up on purpose. See what happens. Like, come on. By the way, these make great lunch bags. I'm bitching about McDonald's, but these actually make really, really useful lunch bags too. This shit here is like expensive. This is a temporary adhesive. It's really expensive. I try not to, I've had this can for a very long time. Yeah. $29.99 Canadian, and that was like a year and a half ago. I got it on sale though. They were having a big sale. A lot of people like to do the 505 and then also do some stuff. Now I need to do a little bit of top stitching. I've done really narrow stitches here. So this is where you decide what you're doing. This is if you were doing a more serious project, right? I'm doing a McDonald's bag. It needs to be washable. So I will need to do some top stitching. This is diaper flannel. Diaper flannel does not require top stitching. The only reason why I'm top stitching at all is to just hold the 3 layers together, which I don't even need to do. I can just finish it. I can just finish it right now and it's done, but eventually they'll start. The first time I have to, oh, enjoy your visitors, Nanny B. So this is where you have to assess your project. So it's like, I already know that using this as a McDonald's bags guarantees that I will be washing this somewhat regularly. When you wash things that are not, if I just finish this, then these 3 layers, the top fabric, the bottom fabric, and the batting, they're not actually connected to each other. Which means that as I wash them, they'll puff out and do all sorts of weird things. I need some stitching. What I'm using as my batting does not require top stitching of any, it doesn't require quilting of any kind. It's not like quilt batting. So I don't have to do a lot. I can just go 1, 2 and be done. I can be as fancy or as not fancy as I want to be. So what I think I'm going to do is, you know what? I think I'm just going to go 1, 2 and be done. And then I go 1, 2 here. I don't think I need to do anything special. And I don't think I'm going to. I just want to hold it enough so that it doesn't get, yeah, okay, you buy a thing, you wash the thing, and it's like completely out of shape, and you got to spend an hour punching it back into shape. So I'm going to put a single stitch here. pardon me, because that's where the bottom is, and you want a little bit of extra because these two pieces have been sewn together. Anyway, so how is everybody else doing? I keep saying how's everybody else doing, and I immediately stop talking so that it doesn't matter. But anyway. So I'm just going to do some very, very light quilting. This is a small project, and the 505. This is a small project, and the 505 is enough to make sure that it's not going to shift. I need both gloves on. Quilting, even if you don't have dry hands, quilting gloves helps you to. They're a little grippy. The tips. They're also look how they get. They act like a bit of an eraser. So. They get dirty. I don't want to call it dirty. They're not dirty. They get looking like this really fast, especially if you're working with dark fabrics, because it just acts like a bit of an eraser and picks up a small amount of ink. But for the amount of sewing I do, that's a lot of ink. You can wash them, obviously, but if you have even the tiniest bit of a problem with dryness. Now, I'm trying really hard not to actually go completely off the edge, but I also don't care if I do, because this is that kind of a project. You can. I'm just going to get a couple of stitches in here. Don't forget, this whole section here is getting cut out, by the way. So get your stuff lined up. You can stop and draw a line before you start, or you can just trust yourself. Okay, so see how the batting is now sticking out a little bit? Just a little bit of all of these little pieces, tiny bits of shifting. I don't care enough to fix it on this one. With or without the spray, you can fix that just by pinning it. More pins means it's less likely to happen. So I just got my first couple of stitches in, and I am just perfect. A couple of back stitches won't hurt. Same thing on the other side, which I never marked properly, but that's okay. Anyway. Yeah, we're just kind of doing our own thing. And again, it shifted up. I'm not gonna worry too much about that, because I don't mind if it has a slightly. What this will do at the top here is give it a slightly heavier edge. Where's my piece? There's my center. I didn't have to mark my center because I'm just using black thread, and a black thread on pink. I just found my black thread. Basically, I end up using this technique on almost everything I make. Slight variations, but beyond that, oh, and the 505 spray that I showed you guys, one of the things that I like about it, it's like whatever the hell it is, it's it's a temporary adhesive. So the way that it's a temporary adhesive, but one of the things that temporary adhesive does is it does not gum up your needle, which is a thing that can happen, right? So I've got a decision to make. If I still want to put these in, it's probably better if I put them in now. No, you know what? I'm going to take this is going to be really thick is my concern. This is going to be really thick. And if I don't put these in now, they might not stay in, but I'm going to take my chances on that because I've also got, I might not do it. I'm still not 100% convinced that I want to do that. So I still have these. Come on. I'm going to make a little handle out of those. So I am just trimming this to 1 inch all the way around. If you're not comfortable and you want this to be wider and easier to work with, go with 1.5 inches, 2 inches. It's entirely up to you. I've done these. I have done this using pieces that were almost 2 inches. It's just whatever's more comfortable for you. So this was 13.5. So total you want 15.5. Take those out. Get off my finger, you. Static cling is a thing. I just did it so I can get those last. I wanted to be able to save the top and the bottom pieces for more stuff. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to put those in. I can try it later if I think that's what I really want to do. I can put them in later. I didn't save those. How old was I when I learned to sew? It's kind of interesting. It's a kind of I did the usual home ec thing, like I think we all did. I did the usual home ec thing in public school and high school and whatever, and failed. Because, that's just what you do. I've known how to do basic sewing for quite a while now. Basic sewing is pretty easy. And then this started because basically for me, it was all hand sewn. So, I never had a sewing machine I knew how to use a sewing machine. They're easy. Never had a sewing machine of my own. So it wasn't until we were doing a live action role play game with the kids that we were interested in checking out. And it was like, oh, we need costuming. That was the conversation. Well, if you want to do this live action role play stuff, you gotta dress the part, right? And I'm like, well, it is cheaper for us to go buy me a sewing machine, and I knew enough that I knew I could FAFO, fuck around and find out, right? Okay, so this part's really simple. We're just gonna go fold it in half again, up over the edge, fold it in half to the edge, and then fold this edge up and over. I start in the middle so that I can clip it and hold it down. Doing the same thing here. What I'm doing here, I gotta show you guys this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a good enough shot. Okay. You see this where the batting is sticking out, right? This is diaper flannel. It's really thin. So I took that one and I went up and you know what? I'm going to take that one there. Let's assume that we're starting here. I took this one to the fabric. I ignored this and went up and over to the fabric and then up and over. So it grabs that bit of diaper flannel and rolls it up with it. But the diaper, it's just a McDonald's bag. And the diaper fabric is thin enough that you're not really going to notice it unless you're really looking for that kind of shit. Anyway, so we were doing a LARP. The boys were like, hey, we want to check out this LARPing thing. And it was way out in the middle of nowhere, right? You guys should come with us. Oh, yeah, because, they really wanted our company. They wanted a ride, right? Okay, that's That's just me being an asshole. So anyway, we decided, well, look, it's going to be easier to FAFO. Well, I've always been confident, so I don't have a, I'm confident about shit I should not be confident about. But it's like, basically what we found, what we found out was just basic costuming that, what did I do? I've got a freaking, you ever do that? You get that little tiny thing. So we figured out that after the cost of basic costuming, it was better for us to lower our, get a sewing machine, lower our expectations, and make at least some of this stuff, right? I ended up making all of it because it was just, I found some really simple patterns that, so now I've got my own sewing machine. Now I've got my own sewing machine. This was like 6-7 years ago. Where were we living at the time? Were we living here? So maybe 7-8 years ago. It's really not that long ago. So I've always known how to sew. Hemming, basic hemming, basic mending. You know, like, oh, I want my curtains are too long. Okay, hand sewing, right? Got the machine, and then found out about Lisa's bag buying habit. And I was like, dude, I do know how to make those. What are you talking about? Made her a bag. Rest is history. And yeah, it's like, and the internet is an amazing place. And so it wasn't really until about 6-7 years ago. How long have I had the shop? Hasn't really been all that long before I found out that what the skills that I had back then and continued through hand sewing were exactly perfect for the kind of stuff that I sew now. So it worked out really well. But what I discovered was that sewing bags like I do, sewing quilts, and sewing clothes are actually 3 different types, very specific kinds of sewing. So I think that's the more complete answer. As I've always known how to sew, thinking that what I knew was very, very basic and mundane. And then discovering that, well, no, what I knew was very specific to certain types of, what I knew was coincidentally very, very specific to the kind of sewing that I do. And then I'm just self-teaching. I'm self-teaching the quilting, self-taught this sort of stuff. But yeah, I was not some, it's like I've never worked as a seamstress or anything like that. It just kind of an endless series of coincidences that worked out. And yeah, no, like I said, hand sewing, like always had a stash of thread and some needles kicking around, right? Pretty quick to do that, but no. It's kind of one of those things though, because like a lot of skills in life, like holding the material still while you press the foot pedal, it's one of those things where once you learn it, you don't forget it, right? Like it's a lot of it's like riding a bicycle. So, but yeah, it's basically once I said fuck it and started doing what I wanted the way I wanted to do it, I found out that I had more skill than I thought I had. Because don't forget, when you're in the school setting, what you're looking at in a school setting is you're looking at somebody. Okay. I go into a school setting and I'm teaching sewing, right? And I'm like, okay, make a shirt. I have no fucking idea how to do that. So how am I going to be able to reasonably grade students on how well they make something that I don't know how to make? So I'm saying that all fucked up. So the teacher comes in and says, today we're making a shirt. And I'm like, I don't know how to make a shirt. That's like, so there's my F, because I don't know how to do it. Teacher, it never occurred to the teacher to come in and say, okay, we're making a tote bag today. It's like, I rocked that. First bag, well, the bag I make, that my little Peggy bags, nobody does anything like it. Right? So yeah, it's a thing. But nope, I have not been sewing for nearly as long as people think I have been. Like sewing forever, but sewing forever, yes. Sewing like this, no. I've always had, when I was younger, I had access to a sewing machine, but a really, really old, crappy sewing machine. But no, it's one of those things. You just gotta like go, okay, yeah, old dogs can learn new tricks. So I'm just gonna learn some tricks and fuck y'all. So that's what I did. Okay. So basically this is self-binding. Now I've got my edge just like you would on a regular quilt, right? Now I've got my edge, that's ready to go. So now I'm just what I found with the edging on stuff like this, it's usually easier if you start in the center and work your way out, by the way. I'm just being lazy. Okay, I'm not going to agonize about this piece here. I know I'm cutting this piece off because it's the center, because I still have to box this thing. One thing I found when it comes to doing this is it's usually easier to do the center first and then work your way out. Don't know why, just is. So I'm going to be boxing. I still have to box the bottom, which is its own thing, but I'm not going to do that. There's a way that you can do it where you cut your section out now, and I just find it awkward, so I don't. This is kind of the long way around, but if you already know how to box a bag and you want to cut your 2-inch, you start at the center and you go 2 inches by 2 inches. Hey, Mandy. Oh, Florida. Yeah. I am making a McDonald's bag. I will back up and explain. We have we're all about being eco-friendly and environmentally aware up here in this area of Canada. So they now charge you 25 cents a pop if you want a bag at McDonald's. So I thought instead of running over to go get, instead of spending 25 cents every time I want a bag, that I should just go ahead and make myself a bag. So yeah, get over there. So starting with the center just makes it easier. But yeah, if you know how to box the bottom, if your favorite method for boxing the bottom is to have your cutout already in place, then you're gonna go 1 inch on either side here. Oh wait, was it 4 inches? Let's see if I can find them. Let's see if I can get my. I thought I was done with the bag, but let's see. That's 4 inches. So you're going to go 2 inches in. Okay. If your method for boxing the bottom, if you already know what that is, if your method for boxing the bottom is you're going to go in by 2, you're going to go 2 inches in each direction from the center, 2 inches out. So you're going to get 4 inches this way and then 2 inches that way. But I am going to, I always box it second. I don't box it first. So I'm doing it my way. Quite often you're going to find some loose threads here, and quite often they're just going to fold right in. So you can just ignore them. But yeah, no, I think, you know what, the thing that I have discovered in life is that most people are better at the thing than they think they are. I think the thing is, I posted a video in the In Stitches group showing somebody using a, in the In Stitches group, I posted a short video. I talk about this all the time. I posted a short video showing a garment factory worker taking a piece of fabric, putting it on a thing that's already clearly and carefully marked. Okay, see you later, Michelle. Putting a piece of fabric on a thing that's already clearly marked. So she's basically just loading fabric into a machine, and then when everything's all lined up, she pushes a button, it does the sewing for her. And I've always been really, really big on that. It's like most of us are way better at the thing than we think we are. But we are living in a world where everything has a mechanical process that we're living in a world where, oh, there goes my iron turning itself off. We live in a world where we live in a world where almost anything we do can be done by a mechanical process, which means that it's the exact same way every time. So this is where you do want to backstitch a little because that's going to be exposed. However wide or narrow you're going to sew on this, you want to get to the inside edge. And you just want to make sure that you've got it folded over enough so that you're catching at least 1/4 inch of the fabric. La la la, oh la la la. In theory, I could be switching out to a pink. That's going to be the back, right? This is going to be the back. It's a paper bag. It's recyclable, and they're charging you for a bag. I had some lady try to 5-finger lift my bags that I made for my Aldi shopping. Oh my God, yeah, kill them, hurt them. People, you know what? You know why? Because I almost threw that away. The problem is that just the fabric to make it can cost $20 or $30 just to make a bag, depending on what kind of fabric you're using and how much of it you're using. So I don't need the back stitch here. I was going to say I'm going to backstitch here because it's where that seam and those seams are matching, but you don't have to because you're cutting that stuff out. And I backstitch anyway. It's always my habit to backstitch at those types of corners. Don't forget, you don't have to box the bag. But yeah, this is kind of the thing up here in Canada right now. We don't do plastic bags at the grocery stores anymore. Several stores were doing paper for a while. They stopped that. I don't mind because I buy my fabric in bulk, yada yada yada. I've got so much scrap stashed around my house. Like everything on here this is all scrap that I've sewn together. So I'm fine that way, but this shit can get really expensive. I'm not okay with that. But I can go because I'm fortunate. Yeah, okay. Florida is slowly ruling them out too. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's provincial. I don't know if it's by province or if it's federal here, but they're definitely not. You're definitely not finding them in BC anymore. But I'm like I said, I don't want to fight that fight when I can make my own bags for free. So, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to turn a bunch of my batik into some bags. Drop them off with my son, or keep them around here for spares if I need them. Maybe put a few in the shop. I don't know. Last time I threw a bunch of bags in the shop. Well, that's the center. That's okay. I've got a bit of fraying fabric over here, and I'm leaving it. I know I'm boxing it and cutting that out. So but yeah, I think most of us are far better. If you okay. Most of us are way better at this shit than we think we are. And most of us are in a position where the examples that we see are done by machine or done in a manufacturing process where, you see those workers and they're just like zip, zip, zip. It's like that worker is doing thousands of these a day. If it is your job, if your only job is to sew these together, you're going to get, there's no way to not get perfect over time. It just gets, if you've ever worked in a factory or talked to anybody that works in a factory, the sheer repetition of just how often you're doing it, of course, it's going to get really easy. So it's going to get really easy, really fast when you're doing thousands of them a day versus the not thousands. This is the very first time I've made one of these, right? So if it's got some whatever on it, I don't have to care. So, and again, I've got my center. I don't know. I don't think I'd let you guys have a good look at that. says fuck off with just slashed out, and it says oops, I mean hi. Yeah, I tried factory work and I hated it, but you got really good really fast, didn't you? Oh, I have to do this thing. You know why you hated it? You hated it because it got so easily. It became mindless, and then the extreme boredom just messed with your head. That's what happens. But the thing is that one little tiny, when you're doing one little tiny thing over and over and over again, you're going to get good at it. So you're looking at these women you're looking at women and men. You're looking at videos of these people in these manufacturing environments going, but they're so good at it. I could never be that good. And it's like, sure you can. Pick up something and do 1,000 of them. Do 1,000 of them because that's your day job. Okay. This is easy. This is really easy. I am just going to. So I'm just going to sew it. Now I can either sew right along. I can sew right along that line. Yeah, muscle memory. Once your muscle memory kicks in, everything gets really, really easy. The problem with anything that you do for yourself, you're usually not doing enough of it for the serious muscle memory to start taking over. So you can either sew this at or near the existing line that you just put in, or you can do it right from the very edge. And I like to do it right from the very edge, and you'll see why. You'll see the difference when I have it. So the thing is that we are often a lot better than what we're better than we think we are. And if you want to compare yourself, okay, I gotta stop myself. Okay, so I've got a lot of fabric folded over here. There is a lot of layers in this first little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my stitching like all the way to here. I'm going to start here, back stitch, and then go forward, because then I am going to defeat that giant lump of fabric. If I try to start here, I'm going to be starting. I'll show. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it because this camera hates me, and I have to get a new cord for the one that does work nice. Come on, stop it. There we go. Every now and again. So if I try to do this here, yeah, you guys can see how this is. You guys can barely see. Let's see if I can get in here. See how that's pointed straight up? You're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem. So I'm gonna go forward so that this is already flat, mostly flat, right? So I've been moving it around. I've been doing the thing. Pin it, clip it, do whatever you need to do if you're not confident. Take your time. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start forward so that my foot is flat. I'm going to start forward with my foot nice and flat, and I'm going to back up. The first few, I am backing up to the corner. So instead of back stitching, instead of going 2 or 3 forward, then back, then forward again, I'm starting at the front, going back, and then coming forward. Because then the stitches are already in, the fabric's already kind of smooshed up a little bit. You're less likely to have that. You're less likely to have that hang up thing where the needle's like, and nothing's moving. And again, this is the inside of the bag. This is a lot of layers it's going through, so go slower, take your time, double check. And again, my stitch length is 1.8 right now, by the way. I could go back up to the standard, which is, I think on my machine is 2.4. But the bigger the number, the wider your stitches. I know in some types of things, the bigger the number, it means it's smaller for some reason. Anyway. I am cutting this corner off, right? I already know I'm cutting this corner off, and it's starting to get thick and chunky near this corner too. So I'm only doing 1 back stitch because I'm going to be cutting most of this. And then it's going to look like that when I flip it. Like that's going to be the front, right? So anyway. Now, a lot of us are, if you want to really, I keep stopping and starting myself. I'm going to say it this time. If you really, really want to see, read some of the articles. If you really, really want to see where you sit from a skill perspective, read some of the articles talking about how the amazingly intricate beadwork, the amazing intricate whatever work that 18th century seamstresses did, that different whatever, right? And you get a really, really, really good look at it. And you're going to see that your skill level with a nice, new, shiny, modern machine, that you're capable of emulating a lot of what they did. Oh, just 1 second. There. I don't know if it was nose blowing time or if it was nose itching time, so I thought I'd not take chances and so again, I already know I'm cutting this corner off. I'm not measuring anything yet. I don't have to. I know I've got to be at least 2 inches. I need to get it within at least 2 inches, right? I'm just doing a single back stitch so that the stitch doesn't, so that the thread doesn't pop until I'm ready for it to. La 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 la. Oh, great. Okay, now it's potty time. I'll be right back. Ooh, and I'm going to turn this off too. I swear to God, it's not a video if I'm not up at least twice blowing my nose and then once more. Okay, so when this was open, I said do 2 inches from either side of center and then 2 inches in, right? This is the exact same thing. Now you're going to take the outside line because that is where you sewed everything together from. And you're going to go in 2 inches and up 2 inches because you've got 2 inches on this side and you're going to have 2 inches on this side, which 2 plus 2 is 4. You're going to have the exact same, but wherever the stitch line is that you used when you were sewing this together, that is where you're going to make your 2-inch line from. And then you're going to go to the bottom of the bag. And don't forget, this is just a McDonald's bag. This bag is going with me to McDonald's whenever I want to take myself to lunch, or this is the bag that I'm using to go to McDonald's from now on, or wherever. I think it's all fast food. Actually, I'm just blaming McDonald's because. So I am heavy scissors, heavier scissors. Yeah, take a look at really old. Take a look at old examples of embroidery, sewing, yada yada yada, and you'll see those examples. But it's like, oh, blah blah blah. This gown was made by doing this, and no, I'm not saying these are crappy gowns, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that this is crappy sewing. What I'm saying is that this is what these people did without modern tools and equipment. And you with modern tools, hi Moira, you with modern tools and equipment can get the same or better results. And these are people that were called experts. just whatever you do, if you're going to look at your own crafting, sewing, whatever your thing is, if you're going to look at your own skills and go, wow, my skills are blah, do not compare yourself to somebody. Oh, my drawing skill, I don't have very good drawing skills because I can't do as well as that guy who does basic drawing and then photoshops. I can do it, I can't, I don't have very good drawing skills because, and then it turns out that you're comparing yourself to a guy who does his drawing and then photoshops the finer details into place. It's like, oh, well, wait a second. Are you comparing yourself to, an artist's subjective to begin with, and yeah, you don't have to be as good as the best artist in the world, but you're better than you think. Okay. So I just did my 2x2. Now, for me, it's just a McDonald's bag. So I am not going to do anything else with this. I am just going to go straight across, pull this out, pin it if you need to, but I'm lining up this seam here. And the fortunate thing is I have a seam there where I sewed everything together, right? So I'm just lining up those two. And then I'm just going to go straight across. Now I believe in really, really, really reinforced. If I'm not going to come back and cover this up, I believe in enclosed seams, right? So if I can't have an enclosed seam, then I will come back and zigzag. I will come back and zigzag over it. I will come back and zigzag along the edge just to make sure that seam can only zigzagging over an edge prevents it from fraying. There will be a tiny bit of fraying at this seam, but it will only go as far as the zigzag will let it. See, a little bit of fraying. Well, that's not fraying. That's just the thread. So a little bit of fraying will happen, but it can only go so far. And I made it myself in my own home. So if I wash it and it frays, I can throw it back on the machine. I could put a seam binding over that. Here's what I can do. I'll show you what I can do. So basically, this is what you do is you put it like that. Oh, Jesus. Had to have your husband sharpen the divots out? Yeah. You know what? But yeah. Okay, so basically, anything that you do to help you develop your skills is worthwhile. Yeah, that's why I keep a couple of crappy pair for cutting other stuff. So basically, you take your piece of fabric, right? I've got a big piece. Take your piece of fabric, put it like that, so your fabric is over your thing. Fold the end in carefully because you're gonna want to fold your end. This is not gonna quite. This is gonna be a little awkward because this is at an angle. Fold your end in. Fold your end in. Do. I am so fucking lazy. Let me just get the pin up. Let me get needle pins up to show you. There's a couple of ways to do this. You put this here. I'll do it the regular way. No, I think I just made it too short. We'll find out. Did I make it too short? Did I screw it up? I probably did. So you just put it over there, right to the end. Make sure you got a little extra on both sides. You put it there. Pretty sides together, okay? Pretty sides together. Straight stitch. 1/4 inch seam. Okay, 1/4 inch seam. Stop it. Come back. You can pin it if you don't. You can pin it if you have an issue. Now this actually should be a lot shorter. Look how much extra fabric I've got here, right? Generally speaking, you're going to use a piece of fabric that's about 1 inch. If that. A piece of fabric that's about 1 inch, and you're going to fold it just like I did for self-binding. You're going to fold it again. Only this time you're going to fold this in first. Let me get it back over here. Let me do it right. Okay. So you're going to do this. You're going to fold down about a 1 inch piece of fabric. Okay. Then you're going to make sure it sticks out the ends a little bit. Let me get down here. You're going to make sure it sticks out the ends a little bit. Then you're going to fold that end in. You're going to fold that end in. You're going to clip it or pin it if you need to. Okay. I'll do both of them because I was trying to be slick and I was trying to be slick and made a mess of it. So then you just do it the exact same way as I just did all my self-binding, right? So you get that one in there, you fold it halfway, then you fold it the rest of the way. Clip it. Then you get down to the other end. I'm just trying to be careful, make sure you guys can see it in the camera. Then you fold it halfway, fold it the rest of the way, clip it. Clip it, pin it, whatever works for you. Fold it halfway, fold it the rest of the way. Clip it, pin it. There you go. Now, these are coming at an angle, right? Because you've boxed the bottom, which puts it in an angle. That just accept it, okay? So you may have to come in here and do a little bit of adjustment to get it as straight as you'd like it to be, okay? Then you come over here, get over here to the machine. Get over here to the machine. Don't you dare go fuzzy. Get it to the machine. Now, me harping on about the tweezers all the time. You have to take this out so you can get it in. These tweezers, again, you've got a lot of thickness, right? So start ahead, a little bit ahead. Make your first 2 or 3 stitches, go back to the edge, and then sew it down. And again, tweezers. And don't forget, this is the inside of the bag. This is going to be the inside of your bag. It is just to prevent fraying. This is enclosing the seam to prevent any potential for fraying and loose threads ending up inside your bag. So this does not have to be pretty. Ideally, it's not going to be seen. Now, if you want this to be a reversible bag, it can still be a reversible bag. So if you want this to be a reversible bag, it can still be a reversible bag. So if that's the case, you may want to pick something that coordinates. I don't have to care if it coordinates because it's a reversible bag, but I probably won't very often use it reversibly. So again, I cut out my thing. We'll do it properly this time. So I need a piece of fabric that's about 1 inch. I'll go 1.25 inches because I can see a little bit of fraying on this piece because I'm being careless and throwing my shit around, right? So I'm going to go about 1.25 inches. So you want to put a 1 1/4 inch piece. So I'll set that aside. I'll set this 1 1/4 inches. We will set that aside over there. We'll set it aside. I will put away this. Yeah, when you're sewing, best drawing skills I have is drafting sewing patterns with Sharpies on flexi cutting boards I get from the Dollar Tree. Oh yeah. You know what? We've all got, I have this thing. We are all insanely good at something. We're all insane. Some of us, we're all insanely good at something. We're all moderately good at a lot of things, but I think that we just don't recognize it. I don't think we recognize it. Like, I think we have this, I don't know if we have a competitive mindset to be competitive or just because we don't really know any better. So now I can do this one of 2 ways. Now, if I really want to get fancy ass, I can put this into place at the same time. Yeah, I love the clips. Okay, so if I really want to get fancy ass, I can get the pins and the clips and I can get this ready to go and sew it down at the same time. Honestly, you're trying to reinforce something here, so an extra layer of stitching isn't going to hurt anything. So, and again, clip it, pin it, do whatever you need to do to it. I don't like pins, and I'm lazy, so I just don't do it. I should, but I don't. Okay. Nothing wrong with getting your first couple of stitches in and then readjusting, double checking, moving things around. Okay. So on this side, because it's just a McDonald's bag and I don't have to care, again, ever so slight. Sometimes I grab things from all the way back here. I needed that to shift a little bit. I do not need to dig my way. I do not need to be down here doing this. I just grab it from the back, yank it into place. We're good to go. Okay. Okay. So I should be back stitching, but I already know I'm going to be putting the stuff in. Okay. So this is me doing it properly. So you just make sure that you don't have like something tucked in the wrong spot, right? So fold this out nicely, get that all nicely laid out. Put that like that. It's that simple. Put that like that, or from the bottom, whichever side. It doesn't really matter which side you do first, as long as you're comfortable. There is a trick. There is a trick where you fold it around, but because of the angle, it won't fold properly. So we're not going to try that today. So just get that like that. That's it. Now, it is not like this. Okay, it is pretty sides together, and you want to sew it flush like this, not out like that. So you pretty sides together, go like that, sew it down. And like I said, you can do it from the top, you can do it to the bottom. It really doesn't care. This is probably a good time to do it as well, because I'm doing gray on pink using black thread. You don't have to go, you don't have to, I don't think you guys even saw that. You don't have to go end to end. You can definitely feel where this ends. Just go off the end a little bit. Backstitch if you want to, you don't have to, because you're going to come back over here again, go down there. You're going to come back here. You're going to bring this up. Okay. And you can trim it before or after. I'm just gonna trim a little bit. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount, or it can be. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Just take off the obvious excess. Right? Fold it in first. Okay, that's got the that's where the, you guys aren't going to be able to see this very well, but where your seam allowance was, just fold it to the same fold this to the same 1/4 inch, put it in, right? Fold it to the, it's already halfway curled into position. So just finish pressing it down with your finger. Fold it into position. What's going on here? Oh, I got a little bit extra. Don't worry, it's nothing that matters. I just have I have a little bit of loose thread. Okay, so I'm just going to clip that one for a second. Take this one. What's going on there? Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you're going to get into sewing, just remember that sewing scissors can get really expensive really fast if you're not careful. And I have got a little teeny tiny something right there. Meh. Okay. So we're just going to go. And again, if you need this to be bigger, to be more convenient, make it 3 inches. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you're staying near the, like, this can be out. This can be out. This can be all the way out to here. But just remember that when you fold it, you want to sew it right there at your 1/4 inch. If you've got this, if you're using a really, really wide one, just for your own comfort and convenience, so you're not irritating your hands, just remember that you're not going to do that. You're not going to bring it all the way up to here, because if you sew here to sew this down, you're going to make your box bigger and bigger and bigger. So you can make this bigger if that's what's convenient. Just make sure you just pin it into about that extra floppy. Who cares? Who cares? So fold it to the edge. Just like the self-binding that I was showing you, fold it to the edge and then fold it the rest of the way over. Get a clip, okay? Fold it to the edge, get it the rest of the way over, clip it. And if you still need to finish the center, oh, I've got it way away from the camera. Sorry, guys. Do you guys need to see that again? And again, get that like that. Now, if you're really trying hard because you're doing a really nice bag and blah 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 blah, then you're going to want to use this material and you're going to want to use a matching thread. And then anything that shifts in the wrong position, because on this side here, there's the original spot where I sewed it down. There's the original spot where I sewed it down, and then there's the original spot where I sewed it down is here. And then when I sewed this down from this side, it left a stitch line in the back there. So it is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if that happens. I don't do this very often. So it's not that big of a deal for me. But if you're trying to do a really nice, bag, then you're just going to want to be more careful how you line it up, and a matching coordinated thread would have hidden that beautifully. Because if anybody's walking around going, I want to see the seams of your bag from the inside, and then I'm going to judge you harshly because of it, you need to tell them to get the fuck out of your life. But anyway, I digress. So I'm just holding it down right here with my fingertip until I can get it into the machine. I start ahead of where I want to be. My first few stitches are back stitching, and then I go forward. Oh, there we go. I got to do another back stitch because a couple of those stitches were too close to the edge, and I think they may have went off the edge. There we go. Now, yeah, I love these clips. These clips are amazing balls. So yeah, so now see, same thing. Same thing. You can see the stitch line right there. That's where I did the first one. Then I folded it over and brought it back, and you can see it there. And you can avoid that if this is a little bit wider. If you use this at like 1.5, 2 inches, it'll be a little bit wider. It'll be a little bit easier for you to work with it and make sure it goes exactly where you want it. So there is my McDonald's bag. There's my McDonald's bag. So I can put my burger in it, and then I can just carry it home like a regular bag. I definitely reinvented the wheel here because I can. I reinvented the wheel because I can, but I feel like I reinvented the wheel because I can, but I'm starting and stopping because I can do that too if I want. If I'm going to make my own bag, I want it to look fun because I can, but I also, if I'm going to put hot food in a bag, I want to insulate it a little bit because I could have easily made. There's the bottom. Something else, by the way, when you do take the time to add these, it adds a bit of natural stiffening to what to the bottom, so that this loose, flimsy bag will now stand up by itself. It'll still fall. It'll still like blah, blah, blah. But there's a slight. It's not super heavy duty reinforcing, but when you do take the time to enclose the seams on the boxing, it does tend to reinforce the bag. And if you really want the bag reinforced, Then you're going to come along here. You're going to go from the inside. You're going to take your bag from the inside. You're going to pop out that. I'm not going to do it because I do want the bag to sit flat. I want the bag to sit flat. But what you do is you go from here to here. From the tip of this to the tip of this, you go like that. And then you just sew right there. Yeah, fuck it. I'll sew it. I'll sew it so you guys see what it looks like. So you're not, if you are doing a high-end project, you're just going to sew right. You're going to sew right along the edge. You're not trying too hard to do too much. A line of thread like that, it pulls the fabric closer together and creates a stiffening effect. There we go. That one's done. See, you're really just stay nice and close to the edge and go all the way down. That's it. Like I said, at this point, I really am reinventing the wheel because it's fine the way it is. It's fine to stop here exactly the way it is. It really is fine to stop. I'm doing this. I'll do this because I'll do this because I got up on my own head and I can do that. There's a good opportunity to yeah. Honestly, you just do whatever works. Do what works for you. Okay. I'm going to be lazy. I'll come back in a bit. I'm going to be lazy and stop like this. Oh, hi Sunny, how you doing? I'm sewing up some scrap. This is scrap on the outside, and then Nanny B's swearing fabric on the inside. I'm a little bitter because McDonald's now charges. So I've gone all the way around, right? And now it's really going to hold up because it just reinforces that bottom. And to store it, to put it away, I can still do that. Like I can just fold it in. I'm going to go one more step. One more step. Because I can. Because why not? Okay, so this is just finger pressing, and you don't have to try too hard. I can be over there with the iron making it perfect, but it's just a McDonald's bag. I'm going to repeat that over and over again. I'm going to repeat that over and over again because I can. Actually, you know what? Now, here's the thing. If I'm going to McDonald's, do I want to... McDonald's is for anybody who's... for anybody who's just coming in, that would be you, Sonny. Doing well, ramping down to prep for the end of my job after 17 years. Oh, my God. Wow. Is that good news or is that bad news? I hope it's good news. So if I'm just going to McDonald's, all I need to be able to do, McDonald's charges 25 cents a bag out here is the punchline. And I need my own, I need my own bag. If I just want to carry it like this, I'm good to go. But if I make myself a couple of quick little handles, I can still carry it like that, but then I have options. So I'm going to do that. Oh, thanks, Mandy. Yeah, I'm nothing but attitude. Okay, so we're just going to go doop-de-doop, doop-de-doop. You know what? I'm going to go and iron it, guys. I'm so used to ironing this crap that it's like, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Come on, you can do it. Stupid. You always have to do whatever works for you. Always do what works for you. And if that means switching gears midstream, then that's what works for you. Was that or commute 4 hours? Oh, geez. Oh, 10 months of severance. So that's kind of nice. So are you now, is your Is your severance just severance, or is it like you get severance for 10 months or until you find another job? I don't know how that works where you are. I know in some areas that it's like, well, unless you find another job, and it's like, fuck that, just give me the money. Okay. Why is this not? Why are you not warming up? Oh, it's just being slow. Full paper. Oh, that's even better. So are you jumping to something new right away, or are you going to take a little time, or a combination of the both? I'm just going to interrogate you now. Sorry, that's the way it is. I'm waiting for my iron. Oh, my iron's ready. You have time to type. I'll be right back. Oh, there we go. Big blast of water. Okay. So now we are looking at this. This is easy. Okay, 2.5 inches, fold it in half, fold this half in half, fold this half in half, fold it together, and sew it down. And that's it. I could probably skip sewing it down because it's going to be such a small piece, but there's no point in not. And I haven't fully decided. I am literally just winging it right now. Next one. Yeah, prioritize. Yeah, take some time. Ooh, yeah. Kids done high school. You don't. Yeah. It's hard. Okay, it would be really hard for me not to see that as an amazing opportunity. An amazing opportunity to try new things. Okay. Got these. So if I go like that, if I put... Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Okay, so if I put that right there near the top, I'm going to have to fold it in on the side, right? You got to fold it in so you can sew it down. So if I fold that one in, that's probably still bigger than I... Yeah, no, that'd be fine. So I'll have like... Okay, so I'm going to eyeball the first one. Fold that in half. Give it a squeeze. Oh, there we go. Fold that in half and give it a little squeeze. Okay, fold. Get over there. Fold that in half. Might be a pain in the ass to line things up, but I'm just folding that in half and giving that a little squeeze. Okay, so that's been squeezed. That's been squeezed. Then I'm just gonna open it back up. There's my little pinch line. There's my other little pinch line. I kind of don't really care how that lines up. Okay, so that's the pinch line. That's the pinch line. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to move it down to about halfway. There they are. 4,000 pins. Can I find them? Oh, thanks, Moira. Yeah, I just grabbed, okay, so I'm just gonna pin that there so that it doesn't move on me, right? I'm gonna flip it over because I'm fucking lazy. Shit! I pinned it and did not pin into the actual, I pinned it and did not pin into the actual bag. All the way through this time. Felt it go through. Yeah, just went. Oh my God, twice in a row. Let me see. Maybe third time can be the charm. Got it. Jesus. This is literally, I just took, you know what? I am gonna move it down. I'm gonna move it down to about the halfway mark. This is just scrap I sewed together, Sonny. I just grabbed, I don't know if you were hanging out with us when I was getting out my new cutting machine, but I went through and I don't think I'll need that. I went through and cut up a shit ton of fabric. So I just sewed all these together. I just sewed a bunch of them together and made a bag. Didn't even make a dent in the fabric. Okay, so I'm just going to flip that over, make sure that that's nice and level. Put that one about halfway. La 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 la. There's the pin. There's whatever. Okay, when these are so close to the top and you're not trying too hard, it's pretty easy to get them lined up in a way that you're going to go, meh, I'm happy with that. So that's what I'm doing today. I can still see my pinch mark on that side. And I know that I put the pin through the halfway mark. So I'm just going to do that about halfway down. And there it is. And then I'm just going to put a matching pin on this side. Simple, right? That's all I'm doing. Now I'm going to fold this one in to there. Pin that down. And that's about the same as there. I'm eyeballing it. I'm not going to worry about measuring it. Yeah, it's got, you know what? I'll tell you right now. It's got every single piece of fabric in this bag is leftovers from fabric that I've used to make tarot bags. Every single bit of it. So I am just I'm going approximate. I'm doing this nice and flat for a reason, by the way. So, and I'm just doing these I'm doing them approximate because I really don't care. And I can double check against the back. I can double check against the back to make sure that they're more or less lined up. And I'm good to go. If I were doing a real bag, a munchkin just started ninth grade. He was so scared. I asked him, "Who's going to mess with you, bud? You're 6 foot, almost 300 pounds. He's going to try." Yeah, nobody's messing with him. My God, no. Somebody tried to mess with my youngest the one time, knocked him down on the ground. Steven turned out to be about 6 foot, right? Knocked him down on the ground in high school. Dude was, I'm going to get you. And Steve was like, the fuck, right? So kid knocks him down. Steven, from the ground, kicked the kid in the face. That was the last time anybody tried to bother him in high school. Kids can be dumb, and that part makes sense, but I just got to bring this in a little bit to match that one. Just comparing it to the one under it, and thought I'd make an adjustment. Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way across, top and bottom, and I'm done. Oh my God, the other day, I forget what I was even making. The other day, I'm sewing, I'm minding my fucking business. Okay, so to do something like this, it's going to be easier to take that off. Just like you hear about, oh, do this, take this off for your sleeves, right? This kind of shit isn't just for sleeves. So I'm just going to go one on top, one on bottom, not agonizing. I've got a little bit of fabric sticking out. I've got a little bit of fabric sticking out here that I can tuck back into position. Not agonizing. I am keeping it flat because, like I said, I am just doing this as a McDonald's bag because McDonald's now charges 25 cents a bag, and I'm not a little bit better there. Oh, went too far back. Okay, go to there. I'm not going all the way, obviously. Sorry. I said that. I said there, and I meant like there and there. Don't do the center. Okay. Sew this down any way that makes sense to you. Honestly, you're just basically what you're doing is you're sewing from the edge to just past wherever your fold is. Where this is where the fold is for where I folded that fabric. I'm sewing from the edge just past that fold. And I'm awkward about it because I haven't done these. I haven't done this kind of a handle in a while, so I'm being a little awkward. I'm going to do that. The fabric has shifted. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. The fabric has basically this is sticking out just the tiniest bit. So I'm just going to stick it back in. There we go. Do a little bit of a back stitch. I'm doing a back stitch because I can, right? And then I'm going to bring it around this way. I'm going to put the foot down first. There. Get over there. So that's down and it's more or less reinforced. We're not going to take a close look at how I put my handles on because I haven't done handles in a while. Okay, I can take this pin out now. Don't forget, you still got pins on your bottom. Do-do-do, a-do-do-do, a-do-do-do. Any way that works for you. This is the way that's going to work for me because of the way I've got my machine set up, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just putting on the top piece there. Then I'm going to do this as a separate stitch. That's all. A little bit of back stitch. I'm not agonizing about the very end here. I'll go again. My house, I have a sewing machine. If I need to come back and do this little teeny end at the back, I can come back and do that later. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Come on, what's going on? There you go. There we go. That one's on. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay. This is almost done. Like I said, I definitely overworked it. It's like if I'm going to have to make my own McDonald's bag, I want it to be lined and I want it to be insulated. I don't want an insulated bag, by the way. I didn't want to go digging around for Insul Bright or anything like that because this is going to be holding greasy burgers. It needs to be washable. I know that you can wash Insul Bright. Don't jump down my throat. Anybody who does know, I know there's plenty of you guys that know more than me, but I needed something that can. I need something that's insulating, but doesn't have to be perfectly insulating, while being very washable. So that's why I opted for the flannel pins. Oh yeah, I forgot that I was starting to tell you, and I distracted myself. I was doing a project the other day, and I kid you not. I'm like, la, 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 ooh, stab. Shit, I didn't like that. Then I moved, minding my own fucking business, move around and did it again. And then did it again. And all 3 times it was enough. I stabbed myself hard enough to make myself bleed. 3 times in like less than a minute. I was so bitter. Hi, honey.
Hi, babe.
So McDonald's is charging 25 cents for bags now.
Everybody has to charge it for paper bags.
I know.
The BC thing.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
She doesn't know what I'm up to today.
You're making a bag.
I'm making a McDonald's bag.
Actually.
Yes.
Okay.
See, told you. Everybody says hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, flannel is better for batting if you're going to wash it a lot. Batting can be fine to wash a lot, but then you even the like I have said before, the batting that I use, I only have to put one stitch line every 10 inches. If I'm going to be washing it that much, I need like back to the front. I got distracted. Here we go. Now I can turn. I want this to be able to be washed 2 or 3 times a week. Like Lisa just said, they're all doing it. They all have to do it, right? And it's like and we sometimes eat out a lot. Every now and again, we are just at the dinner store way too often some weeks. But yeah, if you plan on washing something a lot and you're okay with something that's not quite as thick, then you want flannelette. And if you're gonna, because for me to use the batting that I have on this, I'd have to have like every inch. It would or more. There we go. Whoops! I didn't trim this. I didn't trim the thread on this side either. Okay, there we go. So I got a chance to babble my way through a project. I might make a couple of more of these. I haven't decided yet. This is the thing. The first one, oh yeah, it's thicker. It's definitely thicker than a McDonald's bag. So now look what I got. Now it stands up by itself. Okay, I can carry it like a McDonald's bag, or now it's not as this is not as convenient as regular handles, but I can grab my bag and just carry it like that, right? You're gonna be mushing. Well, I'm gonna be mushing down a little bit in order to get the handles. I'm gonna be mushing the bag down a little bit, so it'll be a little tiny bit closed, little tiny bit closed in order to get to the handles. So I'm still gonna get I'm not gonna get the wide open bag. If I have regular handles on, the bag is just gonna be like that. The bag will be like that, which means that it's not gonna be. This is a nice accidental benefit, right? But I don't have to use the handles unless I want to. So I can carry it like that. I can carry it like that. Anyway, now I have to get my ass offline because Lisa's going live in like half an hour. So I got that happening. I'm not sure. Wait. I'm not sure if she's going live or if she's recording. And she's not in the room. Is she going live or is she recording in half an hour? I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, my men is hollering for dinner. I'll see you around. Oh, you have a good dinner, Mandy. So yeah, so there you go. There you go. I got a nice little bag that I can use like a bag or with handles. And it's what I was really focusing on is that if I'm out and about minding my own business, I can. Now, if I want this to be really foldable, I would also have to go up the edges here. But yeah, it's not personal enough unless you bleed on it a little. Yeah, there you go. It's very personal. I'll find a way to bleed on it. So I can now fold this. Let's see, I don't think honestly I'm too. I made this bag because I'm lazy, so. But I can now roll this up, take it anywhere, throw it in my pocket, and it's insulated. Okay, I'm happy with myself. I am happy with myself. I did a bag. These are actually, a bag like this is really easy because all you really need to do, literally, all you really need to do is like zoop and make a handle, and you've got a McDonald's, but you've got a bag that you can use at McDonald's. But this is reinventing the wheel so that you can have one that's insulated, still looks really cool. And if people piss you off, you just turn the bag inside out and stand there minding your own business. Hi, can you put my stuff in the bag, please? It's not Well, actually it is, because sometimes when I'm sewing these, sometimes sometimes I do this as the outside instead of the inside. So depends. Are you going live or are you just recording? Yeah, she's going live. I gotta go. I gotta go or I'm gonna get in trouble in a minute. Anyway, that was my fun. This was my fun way to kill an afternoon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Come on. Don't worry, it's not the bag, it's me. I just didn't fold it properly. There we go. Thanks for hanging out with me. And now I can go to McDonald's and not spend a quarter just for daring to ask for my food to go. And I'm going to get going. I don't know if I'm coming on Friday or not this week. I don't have a topic in mind. I've got a couple things that I want to get done. So I'm not sure if I do show up on Friday. I'm not sure if we're going to have a topic or if we're just going to hang out. So I don't know. Anyway, in the meantime, I am going to get going. You guys have a great day. If anybody, don't forget, there's the In Stitches group. So if anybody decides that they're going to do one for themselves, I want pictures. For starters, I want you to go do one for yourself, and then I want pictures. There's your mission. Your mission, whether you accept it or not. Anyway, I'm going to get going now, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.